Welcome to the Hyros video series where we delve into the world of all things data, ad, attribution. In this series, we will be exploring innovative strategies, expert insights, and successful stories from industry leaders and Hyros partners. Our goal, to help you unlock the full potential of your data and maximize your revenue like never before. So grab your favorite beverage, sit back, and get ready to discover the endless possibilities of optimizing your marketing performance. I'm your host, Chase Barmore, and today we have a very true expert in the field. Please welcome Simon Henshaw, the co-founder of Viral Growth, here to share invaluable insights about maximizing views and monetizing short-form content on social. Viral Growth is a pioneer in short-form content creation, focusing on personal brand growth with over 3.5 years of experience. They've collaborated with renowned personalities like Chris Williamson on the Modern Wisdom podcast, producing some of his most engaging content to date. Welcome to the podcast, Simon. Could you please share a little bit about yourself? Glad to have you.
First of all, thank you for having me here. I really appreciate it. Yeah, a little bit of background on me. So we started, the Viral Growth company about 3.5 years ago off the back of growing my own personal brand. This was kind of the beginning of the short form takeover, as it were, when TikTok was first getting popular and you started seeing everybody, start to push content out there. I decided to grow my own personal brand on those platforms, just talking about, business stuff, growing a marketing agency, things like that. I ended up growing my TikTok to just under 100K, my IG to over 55K, getting millions of views for myself. And that kind of spiraled off in my personal network of, other entrepreneurs wanting to, grow their personal brand. So they were just, asking me, hey, can you help me with this? And I was like, all right, well, maybe this is something that we should tackle. There's definitely a need here. So we started actually offering this as a service 3.5 years ago. In the meantime, we've worked with over 200 different clients. We've worked in virtually every niche you can imagine. So primarily we focus on personal brands, but we've worked in e-commerce. We've worked in software, mobile apps, any sub niche you can imagine. We've done like hypnotherapy for dating. We've done, swim coaching. We've done business coaching, trading, stock trading, the most complicated crypto related projects. Like we've made content for almost any niche that you can imagine. And it's been a really interesting ride. We had the pleasure of working with Chris Williamson. We made his highest ever viewed video. And we recently, actually a recent success is we just took a coach client from zero. He started in August 2023. In, March 2024, he's sitting at 1 million followers. And he's no social media before. He's an older guy, probably in his 60s, I think. Didn't have social media, didn't know what TikTok or short form anything like that is, but we took him from 0 to 1 million. So yeah, it's like goes to show that really anyone, it doesn't matter really what your business is, what, awareness level you're at, anyone can grow on these platforms and actually turn it into monetizable.
Simon, just define for the audience, what is short form versus long form and how should you look at it?
Yeah. So in general, it's short form is just like vertical style content. And usually it sits around 1 minute long. It can go 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 4 minutes, but in general, most people are just uploading vertical videos, 30 to 60 seconds, try to condense as much value and entertainment into that time frame as possible versus obviously long form, which is anything you see landscape on YouTube, over, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, all the way up to multiple hours long. So, short form is more of the condensed version to build awareness, and then long form is more for long-term nurturing.
And at what point, you had a client that went from 0 to 100,000 followers. At what point do you feel like you need to start using short form content in your marketing strategy? Like, when is it a good time?
Yeah. So that client, Mike, his name is Mike. He's based in Austin, Texas. Went from 0 to 1 million followers in 7 months. And he had an existing business already, like a brick and mortar business. And he wanted to basically build a personal brand to actually start selling coaching and products, courses online. And so, he had an established business already, but you don't need to have an established business to actually start putting out this content. In fact, I think it's actually the best place to test offers and test the market for, what people are actually engaging with rather than going straight to, paid advertising, because you can test, especially if you want to keep your startup costs low on a new business, for example, you can just start putting out short form content to test the waters to see what people are engaging with. And then you can kind of figure out what that offer is going to be. And then from there, you can monetize it organically. and then build an audience around that. So you can actually build an organic stream of income, and then you can move to paid advertising. So it doesn't really matter what level of business you're at. Realistically, you can start an audience from zero and start and build a really, really strong asset that you can monetize.
And what type of planning goes into actually doing short form? Do you just pull your camera out and just start shooting, or is there some planning that goes involved with it?
It really depends on the kind of person you are. I think if you're not very well versed in the sort of social media world, it's going to take a bit of planning. It's going to take a bit of preparation, looking up ideas, researching, different ways to record it, different speaking styles, different topics. You really need to prepare if you're not used to speaking on camera. If you're more of if you're an experienced content creator, let's say you've got an audience on YouTube and now you want to start putting out content on short form, well, the same principles kind of apply. You could probably whip out your camera and just start speaking and immediately put up some videos because you have that past experience. You know what to say and how to speak to keep it engaging. But in general, for example, for our clients, the vast majority of our clients, were not big on social media before working with us. They came from like maybe the real world, the business world, and now they want to get online. They want to build a personal brand. And, and they weren't experienced on social media. So what we do for them is we actually plan everything out. We get in the trenches and we research. We go to, similar channels. We find their niche. We see what similar creators are having success with. We see what topics are resonating in that market. And we start building a bank of that kind of content. I recommend everybody does. Start building a bank of content. It could just be like a Google document or a spreadsheet with links to different kinds of videos that you're interested in and that have actually performed in your niche. Start taking inspiration from those. Then you can start to mold that same topic and that same idea and that same hook, mold it more towards what you want to talk about specifically in your niche. And it's better to, you should have to reinvent the wheel with content. You should kind of see what is working and then try and adapt it to what, you want to talk about. But the fundamentals, they're always going to be the same. You need to have an engaging hook. You need to be fast paced. You need to speak in shorter sentences with smaller words, make it simpler. Those are the fundamentals that will carry across for any short form video. But in general, you need to build a bank of content. You should write out your videos, write your hooks word for word. And depending what kind of person you are, maybe you want to actually script the entire thing word for word, or maybe you just want some bullet points. Maybe you want it to be open-ended. But I always recommend when you're recording, have a laptop beside you with all of your content so you can quickly glance over, refresh your memory of what you're going to speak about and keep yourself, on track. And that's pretty much it. And of course, like if you have an editing team, then it's going to make the editing process a lot easier. But if you don't have that, then obviously that's a very tedious process. So depends what kind of content style you want to do. But in terms of planning to actually edit, I recommend getting a solid editing team to actually do everything for you, because editing process, it's very tedious. It takes a long time.
Got it. And what is there a difference between TikTok, Instagram, Reels? Does each platform have different types of content that you should be posting on? Or is it really up to the content or up to the creator?
I think a good heuristic is try to go viral on TikTok and then the other platforms will follow. TikTok gives you the most virality and it's the best testing ground for a topic, but we don't necessarily adjust videos for the platforms because in all truth, you never know which video is definitely going to pop off. You can only put your best foot forward and put out, 30 videos that you think are going to do well. But you don't know which one of those 30 is going to really perform. And so if you have one video, you could post it on TikTok, Instagram Reels, YouTube Shorts, and Facebook Reels, right? So one video has 4 chances of going viral. So you just have to put out that volume and see which, platform is responding to certain topics. And then in the future, you can kind of see, okay, this video did, 5 million on YouTube Shorts, and it was this particular topic, or these types of topics and videos are performing well on YouTube. Well, if you want to get more growth on YouTube, then you should double down on those topics because TikTok it's the best heuristic. Like if you're just going to post the same videos across all platforms, which most people should, just focus on going viral on TikTok and improving your videos over there. And then they will naturally just fall into line on the other platforms.
And how important are the captions within these short form videos as well?
For talking head videos, they're super important because I can't remember the exact number, but they did some kind of study where they figured out that basically 30 or 40% of people that watch short form videos don't turn the audio on. Maybe they're in a public place, they're sitting on the train or in work or whatever, and they're just watching videos with no audio. Well, if you don't have captions, then they don't know what you're saying, and they're just going to swipe past until they find a video with captions or subtitles. So if you're talking, always put captions in your video, because you're opening up an entire, subset of the population that are going to watch your video with no audio.
And talk to us about how your clients have monetized. Like, what does that funnel look like when you're using short term to capture leads?
So obviously the first thing you need to do is you need to build that audience base, and you don't need that many followers. A few thousand is enough to begin monetizing. We had a client in November that was like, has the most niche audience you can imagine. It's like it's teaching doctors how to implement quantum biology into their medical practice, right? By using the sun's energy to cure diseases, right? Super niche, right? Who would think that kind of stuff would be viral? But they built up an audience of 10K followers, and we monetized them 85 grand in 4 days. So you don't need that much, you don't need that big of a following to actually start monetizing. So the first thing is that you actually have to build like a niche audience. So get your content out there, find what's working and resonating for your audience. And if you're super niche, you don't even really need to go viral. 1,000 to 5,000 views per video is more than enough to be driving leads, because that's super high quality people if you're targeting a niche audience. And the only reason it'll get to 5,000 views is if it's actually resonating with that super niche audience. So build up that base of followers first, 4, 5, 6K at minimum. And then what you want to do is start interacting with your audience in the DMs. So start asking the questions on your story about what they're struggling with, what they need help with, do polls, things like that, and kind of get a feel for what level your audience is at. Are they beginner? Are they advanced, intermediate? Do they need help more with, well, it's obviously going to depend on what your business is, but what do they need help with specifically within this, industry? What are their pain points? You can kind of pull that. And then you can start to, what I like to do is do like an MVP test on an offer. So I don't build out any funnels in the beginning. I just go straight to the story and get people to respond to the story with a keyword. I'll put the offer right on screens, like, hey, we're launching this, test group for this kind of person to achieve this kind of result in this kind of time frame. You're going to get this, and this. If you want in, reply word like yes or whatever to the story, and I'll send you Calendly booking or an application or whatever it is. And from there, you're going to get a feel of like what kind, are people actually resonating with that offer? Before you even go building out all the crazy funnels or whatever like that, you want to find out if your audience is already interested in what you have to sell. So always just post a story, getting people to respond to the story, and book them in for calls, book them, get them to fill out application forms, whatever it is that you want to do. And then you can get your first few sales off that story. This more, I guess, applies for coaching, courses, people that are selling info products, things like that. But once you have that offer proven, just from that super simple, minimal effort funnel, then you can start putting in effort into some kind of high quality lead magnet. So some kind of free course, free training, VSL, whatever it's going to be, free download, book download. You can choose anything. It doesn't really matter. As long as you're collecting that lead information from, the bio or from your stories, collect the leads. You're going to build a lead list, and then you're going to build this ecosystem. So a lot of people listening to this might be, heavy into paid advertising or whatever. And everybody knows that, when you build huge lead lists, you can plug that into your ad campaigns and have retargeting lookalike audiences. So if you build a big audience on your Instagram and you start retargeting that entire audience with your ads, and you build that lead list from your free downloads and you plug that lookalike audience from, for example, buyers or just opt-ins into your ads, then your ads are going to perform even better. You're going to have lower cost per acquisitions. Your CPMs are going to go down. And everybody knows that's all getting more expensive. Every single month it's getting more and more expensive to acquire clients. Having that organic ecosystem reduces your CPA overall, and it just works like a flywheel. You get people coming in organic, you retarget them on paid, and it's just round and round and round. And so that's kind of like the high level, overview of, what most people that I see do, a lot of our clients do to monetize.
Awesome. And so how consistently do we need to be posting? Do you suggest like starting off, like what is the consistency? And do you have any tips for creators to just create consistently, or frameworks that you recommend?
At least once a day, but there is kind of a hack to speed it up, because you need volume in order to get quality. So you need quantity to reach quality. So when you first post, you don't know what a good video is. You don't know what's going to perform. And so you're not going to figure that out until you post a lot. And that's why I say quantity means you're going to eventually reach quality, right? So what I did was, in the beginning, I set up a camera and I recorded every Monday. I brought my videographer over and I recorded between 30 and 50 videos in a single day. It would take me 3-4 hours to record that. I would spend the full week prepping, like I said earlier. preparing all my videos, all my talking points, all my scripts. And I would bring that, I would sit down and I would record 30 to 50 videos in a single day. And I would do that for 2 months straight. So by the end of the 2 months, I had hundreds of videos. And what I did was I started posting 3 times a day. And that was able to get me from zero, well, not zero, I was sitting about 4K followers on IG. It got me to over 50,000 in just over a month, because I increased my volume and I figured out what was working quicker, what kind of videos started popping. So at minimum, you should be posting once a day. But if you really want to push pace and find success quicker, you have to post 3 times a day. It's like with ad campaigns, if you want to test with $5 a day, you're not going to find the data. You just don't have that volume to know what's actually working on a macro level. The same, if you're just putting out 1 a day, you will have some videos that perform, but if you want to really know the answers faster, increase your volume. Put out 3 videos a day at minimum if you really want to grow quick. So, there's 2 ways to do it.
Got it. And what about music or background noise? Like, what do you suggest on that? Do you suggest adding music or adding any of those to the actual videos, or do you think that hinders the performance?
I think it hinders because it's a very copyright heavy world. And if you put a sound that is copyrighted, then your video is just going to get either taken down or they're going to remove the audio entirely from the video. And so, you're just going to be putting all this effort into a video to actually make it go, viral, and then it just gets taken down. And realistically, the music it depends on the video, right? If it's just a talking head video straight to the camera, you don't need music. But there's certain styles that benefit from having trending audio, but 9 times out of 10, it's not the edit or the music or the sound or the captions that make a video go viral. It's the idea behind the video that actually makes it go viral. And secondary to that, it's your hook. So all the other things are kind of, majoring in the minors. If you're putting too much emphasis on the captions and the hashtags and this and that, posting time, it doesn't matter. Like, we've posted videos in at non-peak times, and we've posted them with no captions and 0 hashtags and got 30 million views. It just doesn't matter. It's all about the video.
And when you're analyzing that video and looking at hooks, like, what type of information are you looking to gain from the data?
So whenever we start with like a new client, we do what I call the shotgun to sniper approach. So in the first 30 to 60 days, I'm coming up with as many different ideas as possible. I'm not just sticking in under this one niche. I'm not sticking in underneath this one tiny little, column of, topics. I'm trying to go wide. I'm looking at sort of the industry level rather than the niche level for topics. And I start putting out as many different topics as I think will perform. Stuff that I've seen performing on the algorithm, stuff that I think in my head intuitively that will just perform. And for 30 to 60 days, I'm just blasting different topics. And all I'm looking for is seeing what's hitting and what's not. After that 30 to 60 days, I'm going to see, okay, this video did 50K, that one did 100K, these did 1K, 2K. Okay, so clearly we have winners in these particular videos. Okay, why did those work? And I start to compare the winners against the losers and see what the key differences were. And 9 times out of 10, it's always in the intro, there's some kind of, movement, there's something intriguing, there's something that drives curiosity, and you kind of give the person full context about what they're going to learn in this video and that there's going to be a payoff. And that's kind of difficult to do in like 1 or 2 sentences, because you only have 5-6 seconds to actually do all of that in 1 or 2 sentences. And it kind of sounds difficult, and it can be, but over time you get used to it, right? So that's kind of the differentiator between a winning video and a losing video. In the hook, in the first 5 seconds, can you tell me there's going to be a payoff? Word your hook in such a way that I know if I finish this video, I'm going to get this particular thing. By the end of it, I'm going to learn this, you're going to tell me this. Are you wording it in a way that's actually driving curiosity? Like, try to word something in a unique way that makes it more curiosity driven. A good heuristic I like to do for this is I write the sentence and I think, how can I make this more eccentric? How can I heighten the sentence in any way? Can I change this word to be this other word that might have more impact? So try and word your hooks in a very curiosity inducing way, and basically just say it in an engaging way. If you're sitting in on a camera and talking so monotone, here's 3 ways to, get a 6-pack, no one's going to care. But if you're hanging upside down from some monkey bars with a 6-pack and you're doing sit-ups while saying the hook, it's like, I used to be fat and here's why I got a 6-pack. And you're like, and here's why you can too. You're like, okay, damn, there's movement. There's something interesting. I can see this guy has a 6-pack. He's telling me that, that he used to be fat and now he has a 6-pack. So he knows what he's talking about. He has that professionalism. He has that social proof, and he's going to tell me exactly how I can do it too. So within 5 seconds, I've established all these things. I know he's an authority. I know what I'm going to get out of this video. I know that there's going to be a payoff. It's actually visually stimulating and engaging because he's doing an action in the beginning. And oh, that's everything you need. Whereas if he was just sitting at home, here's 3 ways to get a 6-pack, might do okay, but it's not going to be as good as spicing up the introduction. And you can have the introduction in this, hyped up way, and then the rest of the video can just be you talking. You don't have to do that for the whole video. You just have to do it on the intro to make it more engaging as a whole.
And Simon, so when you've worked with huge creators, what is the difference between a beginner and an advanced creator that already has a bunch of followers? Are you doing anything differently with them than you are with the brand new customers that you're working with or clients?
It's 100 times easier to work with a big client because they have an existing audience that, they'll watch anything. They can actually, the rules apply up until you're famous, and then the rules don't apply. Like Alex Hormozy could post anything and he would get 1 million views. He doesn't really need to follow the fundamentals of short form because he is recognizable. His face is the hook, right? But whenever you're unknown, then you have to follow the fundamentals more strictly. So it's actually a lot easier for me to go viral with a client that's already big because they have that audience, and I don't have to conjure up a new audience from zero. They already have it. So it's actually 100 times easier, and they can ignore most of the rules. So if you're starting from zero, the first attitude you should have is a purely action-driven attitude. Just ignore everything that's in the back of your mind, like, oh, I don't want to put videos out there. There's a lot of people that are scared to post. They're scared of putting their face out there. They're scared of getting known. Just get that out of your head and just take action. Just start recording. Sit down for an afternoon. Record 10 videos, 15 videos. Doesn't matter if they're good. You just need to get the reps in. And try to follow the fundamentals as much as possible by focusing primarily on the idea of the video. Is it proven to work in the algorithm already by another creator? And 2, focusing on your hook. Everything else is secondary. Just nail those first 2 things, and it's going to be super easy for you to actually start getting traction.
Are there differences in the type of videos that you would use for organic content versus paid, or are you using those high-performing organic to paid traffic videos?
You can definitely do that for sure. It really depends on the kind of video and if it has a CTA on it, some kind of lead driving action. For example, you can use ManyChat automations at the end of your video to say, if you say, comment the word 6-pack, and I'll send you a free course on how to get a 6-pack, right? Then you have tens and tens of thousands of people commenting the word 6-pack, right? Well, then you can take that same video and you can start putting, ads behind it. Maybe the funnel that you have on the back end has a monetization feature on it that people opt in and just watch a VSL and then they get pitched a course. Then if that popped off organically, then it's actually working. People are resonating with it. Maybe it does 1 million, 5 million views just by itself. Well, then you can start running that as an ad campaign, conversion campaign, and start actually, seeing if it's working on paid as well. So organic's a great way to test your paid advertising creatives. If you want to look at it from an e-commerce perspective with, TikTok, a lot of people are using TikTok Shop at the minute, which is massive. It's absolutely massive. If you can get your product on TikTok Shop and secure a big affiliate network, you fill up, a group chat or a Discord or whatever with tons of people who want to affiliate your product, and they can post, and you send the product to them for free. Then they start posting videos every single day about your product. Well, then eventually someone's going to go viral. And then you take that exact viral video and then you put ad spend behind it on TikTok ads. So you can actually run it as what's called a Spark ad. So you can essentially get access to the creator's account and just run the ads from their account. So you put the money behind that video, and then it pushes out even more. And it doesn't need to be on the branded page. It'll be on the original organic video. And then you can start pushing it even more with ad spend and start driving sales through TikTok Shop. So that's a really good and proven way. A lot of people are making a lot of cash at the minute just by pushing TikTok Shop, and then through organic only, and then finding the winners and putting ad spend behind that. It's a pretty hot strategy at the moment.
I think we've really focused on course creators and coaches, but let's dive into how D2C brands and e-commerce brands can use short form.
For sure. It is a little bit more difficult with D2C because it depends on the product you have. If your product is more of if it's just a supplement, for example, where all it is you open the bottle and you take a pill and that's it, it's going to be harder to make content like that. You're going to have to get a little bit more creative. But if it's a product that is more visually stimulating, you can actually, demonstrate it, you can actually show how it's working, then that's a product that you're going to be able to make perform a lot better. For example, there is a product right now that is a portable scuba dive mask. So it's a full face mask, it has a snorkel on it, and you can attach like an air canister like this big, and it gives you 20 minutes under the water. So they're hammering it on organic at the minute, and all they're doing is they're going to tropical locations, having the mask and jumping in the water and showing them swimming underwater whilst breathing through the mask. And then at the end of the video, they direct people to the website, and they get millions of views. And I'm sure they're making millions of dollars as well. So if you have a product that is more visually stimulating like that, then you absolutely need to be hammering organic. Either do it yourself or hire a UGC creator who's actually going to be good, and give them a very healthy, a nice retainer plus an affiliate commission for actually pushing out that content. And then they're going to be motivated to push out more and more and more. And if you can link that back to TikTok Shop, where you build an army of affiliates and an army of creators that are just constantly posting 3 to 5 videos per day for your product, well, then you're going to catch fire eventually, and you're going to be going viral and collecting cash through organic socials. And then again, like I said before, linking back the winners to paid advertising, just so it's a compounding effect.
What type of tools help you, would you say, are hacks for short-form videos that you and your team use and that you would suggest our users to check out?
Yeah, I mean, realistically, you can't beat just scrolling the apps. Once you're kind of in your niche and you're forcing yourself to watch videos from your particular niche, the algorithm is just going to keep showing you that kind of stuff. So you can spend 5 minutes scrolling intentionally and saving videos that you see pop off, and then build your content around that. That's really just going to be the best way. There's another tool you can use. It's a Chrome extension. It's called TikTok Sort, I think is the name, where basically you can go to TikTok, you can find a creator that you like that's in your niche that's performing well, and you turn on the Chrome extension, and it'll filter the videos from top to bottom, most performing to lowest performing. And then you can just go through their best performing videos and start building your content around that and start dissecting why those work, and then apply those principles, apply that to your own content. But realistically, all you need to do is just spend time in the app with intention of actually finding videos that are performing in the algorithm, and then applying, that topic, that hook, those principles to your own.
And are you editing directly natively in the app, or do you use another app to edit the videos?
We edit everything through Adobe Premiere Pro. Whenever if you're just an individual creator and you just want to make a simple edit, like a couple cuts, some basic captions, by all means, use, TikTok in-app editor, or you can use CapCut, for example. Just a super easy mobile thing. You can edit a basic video within a few minutes. If that's all you want to do and you want to do it all yourself, just do that. But for us, we have quite a lot of clients at this point, so we have to systemize everything and do like a nice workflow. So all of our videos are edited through Adobe Premiere Pro. And then if we have a more complicated edit that we want to do, we use Adobe After Effects. If you see any of these crazy edits on these big creators, usually done through After Effects and Premiere Pro, then that's 9 out of 10 of our edits are done that way. And then we do all of our project management through a tool called ClickUp to make sure everything's on track. So is the video in the writing stage, in the editing stage? Is the client approved? Is there feedback? All gets organized in ClickUp. And then for video feedbacks, we use a tool called frame.io, where basically, I can send a link to you, and you can put a comment at a specific timestamp on a specific section of the video saying, okay, at 35 seconds, I don't like the way this looks. Can we change it to that? And it speeds up the workflow a lot easier on that side.
Awesome tips. And on the ad side, talk to us about how you're looking at ads and scaling. Are you all running the ads for your clients, or do you have agencies that you work with or in-house teams?
Yeah, so we have a handful of clients that we run ads for. We primarily focus on organic, but we have, partners that we basically, we have a stake in their company where we're focusing on monetizing the organic, and we help them out on the paid side as well. And so for me, I always like to look at it like an ecosystem. So can we get the organic to fuel the paid? Because you can get people in the top of funnel through organic, get millions of views, hundreds of thousands of followers, and retarget all those people back into your funnel. And then use that lookalike audience, all of your followers, to find new people that are just like them on paid, that you can start sending top of funnel ads. You can just start sending them your content as an ad. If you can push your winning content as an ad, it's just a pure awareness ad, super cheap CPMs, to a new audience that is similar, that is a lookalike audience to your actual following, then it's just going to be this crazy ecosystem of just driving new people into your organic to save them as a follower, capture that lead, and then start retargeting all the video viewers, start retargeting all your audience. So I really look at it kind of like this flywheel approach.
Awesome. And talk to us about how clients can get in touch with your team and Just tell us about some of your other success stories.
Yeah, so our site is viralgrowth.io. Bunch of case studies, bunch of testimonials on that site. We've worked with people that are in the smallest niches you can imagine, like the most weird niches like hypnotherapy, dating, hypnotherapy for marriage counseling, all the way to like coaches that help people write their own books. We've worked with, obviously, Chris Williams from the Modern Wisdom podcast. We've worked with Mike Colbert from 0 to 1 million followers. We've worked with Oscar-winning producers from Hollywood, Adam Leipzig. We've grown his personal brand and helped him monetize through webinars, and countless other people. We work with so many coaches. But yeah, viralgrowth.io is the site. Lots of information there, and we have a booking page. And if you guys want to contact me directly, simon@viralgrowth.io is my email.
Thank you, Simon. And talk to us about your use of Hyros and how you used Hyros with your videos.
Yeah, so with Hyros, what we do is, like I said before, we have this flywheel where it's a mix between organic and paid. And obviously that data can get super messy, right? So what's coming from organic, what's coming from paid? So we use Hyros to kind of separate that out and see what's actually bringing us where it's coming from. And so whenever you combine organic and paid, you absolutely need to be using a tool like Hyros to actually separate that data and give you a complete understanding of where everything is coming so you can make those right decisions. Because if you're, scaling an ad that's only performed on organic and it's just not performing on paid, well, you're just burning money and it's not going to work, right? So you need to have that complete transparency of where your attributions are coming from. And you absolutely have to be using Hyros if you want to be building this ecosystem between organic and paid advertising. Like all the big coaches and info sellers, that's what they're doing at the moment. They're building this flywheel between organic and paid. And if you don't have that transparency and that separation with the tool like Hyros, you're just going to get lost. You're not going to be able to scale properly. You're not going to be able to stay profitable. At scale, it only works if you have a tool like Hyros to actually guide you.
And where would you say at scale would be?
100K a month at least, at minimum. You can easily do 100K a month through organic for a coaching offer. And after that point, if you want to pour fuel on the fire, you can go to paid advertising. And at that point, you should immediately just start using Hyros just to get off on the right foot and see what's performing.
Any other things that you'd like to share with the guests before we end?
I don't think so. If anyone has any questions, I'm easy to find. Simon@viralgrowth.io. Yeah, my Twitter, my Instagram is @Shawpreneur, SHAWPRENEUR. So my DMs are always open. If anyone has questions, I'm happy to answer.
What do you see in the landscape of 2024 with videos and with short form content? Do you think it's going to skyrocket? What do you see with your crystal ball?
With my crystal ball, I know that it's only going to get more and more focused on short form. And the reason I say that is because TikTok is coming after Amazon. So with this TikTok shop feature, they're already implementing a fulfillment system the same way that Amazon has. So if you do FBA, you have your product, you ship it into Amazon and they handle all the logistics, right? TikTok's doing the same thing now, but the reason they have a leg up on Amazon is because they have this discovery tool, which is TikTok itself. So instead of Amazon, where you have to now rank for keywords and this and that, you can immediately access, which takes a long time, by the way, especially in a saturated niche. It takes a super long time to actually build up your listing on Amazon. But with TikTok, you can just make one banger video that goes viral and instantly you're getting that traffic. And if someone's buying products through TikTok shop and it's getting fulfilled by TikTok as well, they're just coming after Amazon. So I can only see it getting more and more geared towards short form content. Who knows, maybe Amazon will try to do something similar. I don't know. It's going to be pushing even further towards that direction.
Are coaches and courses able to be sold on TikTok, or is it just physical goods? Can digital goods be sold there as well?
Yeah, you can actually. So there's a very interesting feature called TikTok Series. So it's basically where you can hide videos behind a paywall. So on your organic video, there will be a little box that, it's called a TikTok Series, and you can set a price on it. You can put your title there. People can click that and buy your hidden content. So what's cool about that is whenever because obviously TikTok takes a commission, right? So they're incentivized. If you're making sales, they are incentivized to push your video out even more. So an interesting little hack is you can just make a super basic product and sell it for cheap, $2, $3, whatever. And you're not necessarily looking for the revenue bump, you're looking for that push in traffic. So you get that push because you're making sales. TikTok start pushing you out even more because they want to get more of a commission from that sale. Then you're going to have your link in your bio, and then all that traffic is going to go to your profile. They're going to follow you, and they're going to start clicking through your link, and they're going to buy your main product, opt into your funnel, or just buy direct. So you can definitely sell, through the TikTok Series and also through your link in bio. but I primarily prefer Instagram for monetization over TikTok. And the main reason for that is because they have a photo feed and they have stories. The followers on Instagram, their attention spans are better. On TikTok, the attention spans are a little bit lower. It's better for just pure virality, but for an impulse purchases, by the way. But on Instagram, you have a little bit longer attention span. People will watch your live streams. People will watch your whole story videos, even if they're really slow. They'll read a wall of text, no problem. So it's much easier to actually monetize an audience on Instagram than it is on TikTok.
Super helpful. Well, thanks again for joining us for this enlightening journey through the world of all things data. We hope you found today's insights valuable and inspired to take action. Remember, the key to unlocking your full potential on your data lies in the strategic implementation of continuous learning. Stay tuned for more videos where we continue to explore innovative strategies and successes. Until next time, thanks again, Simon, for joining us for the Hyros video series.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.